Hey everybody, this is Wendy Ponomarenko. I'm the art teacher and librarian at Temple Emanu-El. As part of the ongoing library project, I've been reading a book a night to bring our temple resources to you in this time when the library resources are inaccessible. And tonight's book is The Secret Shofar of Barcelona. It's by Jacqueline Dembar Greene and illustrated by Chayka. Hope you enjoy. This is The Secret Shofar of Barcelona by Jacqueline Dembar Greene and illustrated by Chayka. In 1492, Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand decreed that everyone in Spain must be Catholic. Those of other faiths were forced to leave the country or to convert. Most Jews sailed for other lands. Some remained and pretended to follow Catholic ways. For many generations, these conversos hid their religion from the Inquisition, a board of judges set up to find anyone who didn't follow the church's teachings. Spies were everywhere, and the secret Jews lived in fear of being discovered. Raphael stepped silently into the music room. The notes of the harpsichord plinked under his father's fingertips. When the final chord faded away, Raphael clapped. "Bravo, Papa! Did you write a new piece?" he asked. Don Fernando smiled. "After I convinced the Duke to hold a concert celebrating Spain's colonies in the New World, I had to compose something never heard before." He led Raphael to a cluttered table. "These instruments were made by the natives, and I have written a part for each one." Raphael jiggled a string of clattering black triangles. "Those are deer toes," Don Fernando explained. Raphael shook gourd rattles, beat on small drums, and tipped a hollow log that made the silvery sound of rainfall. Raphael pulled his father to the window. "Look at the people arriving for the concert. It's like a festival." A housemaid walked past the door, and Don Fernando lowered his voice. "The concert marks another celebration, but that one is a secret." "Tell me, Papa," Raphael whispered. He had been trusted with many secrets. Most important was hiding his family's Jewish faith. Don Fernando played the harpsichord louder to muffle his words. "The performance will be on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. When we and our Jewish friends gather for a festive meal, it will appear we are only celebrating the concert." Raphael knew the plan was dangerous. Don Fernando was the respected conductor of the Royal Orchestra of Barcelona, but nothing would protect him if the Inquisition discovered his trick. But Raphael had an idea. "Since it is Rosh Hashanah, you could add the call of the shofar to the native instruments." Don Fernando's shoulders slumped. "So many of Barcelona's Jews have longed to hear it. But who would take such a risk?" "I will," Raphael said. "If you are brave enough to conduct a Rosh Hashanah concert in front of the Duke and the Inquisition, then I will play the shofar." He gave his father a sly smile. "Maybe it's safest to hide the shofar in plain sight." "Perhaps you are right," Don Fernando said thoughtfully. He unlocked a cabinet and slid out a wooden box. Beneath a velvet cover was a curved ram's horn. "Listen carefully," Don Fernando said. He sang softly a pattern of 4 notes. Raphael hummed them back until they were safely locked in his memory. The next morning, Raphael slipped the shofar under his shirt. He made sure no one followed him as he walked to the olive groves. Only the grazing sheep could hear him practice. At first, his breath was short, but soon the sounds grew stronger. The notes his father had revealed seemed to speak to Raphael. Takia was a long, whole note. Would the secret Jews of Barcelona feel whole again if they heard it? The 3 broken notes of Shevarim reminded him that the tradition of sounding the shofar had been broken. Perhaps this year it would be restored. Raphael felt a sense of alarm each time he played the blaring Teruah. The 9 rapid notes seemed to be a warning call. And the last great blast called the Tekiah Gedolah, the Great Tekiah, echoed in his heart. While Raphael practiced, he worried, what if the Duke or the Inquisition recognized the ancient ram's horn? Raphael and his father would be thrown into prison or worse. At sundown, the day of the concert, trusted friends gathered in Don Fernando's library to welcome the new year. Some prayed quietly, while others talked loudly to cover the sound of prayers. Raphael's mother lit candles in the dining room, secretly reciting a blessing. So many traditions were hidden in plain sight. They feasted on chicken simmered with olives and tomatoes, rice with bits of dates and apricots, and round loaves of bread laced with raisins. But Raphael was too nervous to eat. Later, they walked the winding narrow streets to the palace courtyard, alongside a crowd of elegantly dressed men and women. Men placed their hats over their hearts to show their respect for Don Fernando. Lanterns flickered at the edge of the stage as the musicians took their places. Raphael felt a shiver of fear. He climbed onto the platform, clutching the shofar, and his throat went dry. What if the plan failed? Don Fernando stepped onto the stage. At his signal, the music began. After several familiar pieces, the orchestra began the new composition. It opened with a gentle rhythm and grew louder and faster. Gourds rattled, clay flutes piped, and deer toes clanked. And with a flourish, Don Fernando pointed. Raphael put the shofar to his lips and blew, Tekiah! Shavarim! Teua! Tekiah Gedolah! Raphael blew the last note until he thought his chest would burst. He wanted the sound to reach every secret Jew in Barcelona. Bravo! The people jumped to their feet. The musicians bowed as fireworks exploded against the night sky. Tonight you have made many hearts sing, Don Fernando whispered to his son, especially mine. Suddenly, a messenger appeared. The Duke wishes to see you, and the young horn player, he told Don Fernando. Raphael gripped his father's hand as they followed the messenger to the royal box. They bowed before the Duke and the judges of the Inquisition. Raphael's heart felt like it was going to stop. This is a strange horn the boy played, the Duke said. Let me see it. Trembling, Raphael offered the shofar. The Duke raised it to his lips and blew. Blat! He frowned at the sour note. I'm afraid I shall never be a musician. The Duchess chuckled. That is why we have our famous Don Fernando and his orchestra. The Duke's expression softened. The concert was an inspiring tribute to our valiant conquistadors, he said. You must perform this music again, and you shall blow this horn. He returned the shofar to Raphael. Next year, at the very same time, Raphael agreed, right before your eyes. The end. Now, this particular book, The Secret Shofar of Barcelona, is based upon a legend that that while the Spanish Inquisition was going on and while most Jews had fled Spain, those that stayed and the conversos, the ones who hid their Jewishness, there's this legend that there was some kind of high status musician who somewhat routinely slipped Jewish things into public concerts, and it's not unheard of. It's not something that we have a lot of historical record for to be able to prove, though. So this does fall on legend, and of course the fact that there was a Spanish Inquisition and the fact that most of the Jews were expelled from Spain, all that is historical fact. But the idea that there was a specific concert in which, of course, a shofar was blown and it happened to be at Rosh Hashanah, that's all fiction. But the fiction is based upon a rather fun legend that Sephardic Jews of that era had found ways to slip their Jewishness into public sight in front of in front of everybody and hopefully get away with it. And so this wonderful, wonderful story can be found in Easy Fiction in the Juvenile Stacks, and I hope you enjoy.